Hi there. I am really excited that you've decided to join us for SAT Prep. I want to introduce you to a key document that will be kind of what I focus on as you work with Brianne in the math and Andrea in the English. I will be kind of in charge of your work in practice on the document that you see in front of you. So I'm kind of like your accountability coach, making sure that you get your work done, because let's be honest, there's never going to be, a single moment where you actually wake up and say, goodness, I really feel like doing SAT prep. Instead, it's going to be a slog. You're going to have to force yourself to sit down. That's the hardest part of everything, is just forcing yourself to sit down and do it. But once you do, you're going to feel great because you're going to start to see progress. So let me just introduce you to this document. You'll be getting an individualized one of these from me in the coming weeks. So once I know your past scores, I will send you an individual one of these, and let me show you what you will have on that document. So here you can see past scores, and this one, just for purposes of demonstration, is starting from a 550, 550, just made it pretty standard. Okay. So the person ended up with an 1100 to start, and I have a reasonable, though solid goal of a 1240. So increasing each score by 70 points. So what does that look like? Well, what we've done is, instead of asking you to do a pretty unrealistic and I think unhelpful thing of like sitting down and doing full practice tests, we're going to be asking you to do practice drills. So basically, instead of doing the whole thing, we're going to break each section up into smaller pieces and ask you to do those and record your scores on those. So for instance, if we look here at reading, right, we're going to take 3 full tests before you take the SAT, and you'll see that each test is listed here. Test 5 is a special one. We'll explain that later. That's if you really do want to sit down and do a full length test all at one time. We have a special version there and special materials that we can provide you later in the class. But as you practice, you'll be doing tests 8, 9, and 10. These are release tests from the College Board. And as you do them, you will plug in drill scores into these boxes. Here you can see reading, the writing section 2, math section 3, no calculator, and math section 4, calculator. So you can see that they're broken up by mini parts, a little bit differently for reading. By reading, we do them by passage. So there's 5 passages. Writing, we just go first half, second half, okay, numbers 1 to 22, and then 23 to 44. And math, because they are easy to hard, we do them by evens and odds. So we want to see, how do you do on all the evens and then on all the odds, vice versa, because if we had to do all the first ones and then all the last ones, there'd be a discrepancy, given that the first ones are a lot easier. So your teachers will assign you what to do. And typically, if you see something in yellow, it means that is homework. So this would mean that Andrea has assigned you to do section 1 of all of test 8. And you should be then plugging your scores in here as you complete them. Now, you'll see that when you get your document, that this will be individualized to you. So depending on where you started and where you want to be, that's why I need you to complete that questionnaire. You'll see that I will have plugged this in. And then I will have formatted the document to do some special things. So I've kind of worked the score conversions backwards. And if you care to see that, then you can kind of click on this button here that says score conversions, and you can see what I've done. But essentially, I know what you need to get per passage in order to achieve a certain score. Okay, I know what you need to get per kind of mini section of writing, and same for math, to achieve a certain score. So I've put those goals right here for you so that you can see, okay, if I want to achieve a 620 in English, then every time I do a reading drill, I need to get an 8 correct out of 10 or 11, depends on the passage. Every time I do a math section 3, we can see this right here, of 10 questions, okay, I need to get 8 correct if I want to achieve a score of a 620 in math. I need to get 14 of the 19 correct in a section 4 drill, again, if I want to achieve a 620 in math. So this will be set to show your goal such that when you plug in your results, the box should turn red if you have not yet hit the goal, and it should turn green if you have. So you shouldn't hit the goal when you begin, right? So if you're doing your first section 1 in test 8, you should be getting 6s and 7s, right? Maybe even lower. So you should get maybe a 6 there, a 5 there, a 7 there, a 6 there, and who knows, maybe you pull out an 8 at some point. But most of these boxes in the first few sections should be red, because that you haven't done the practice yet, right? You're just starting. So it should look something like this when you begin. And that is not to say to make you frustrated. That's just where you start. But what's going to start to happen, sorry, they should be a little bit higher because there's more questions. What should start to happen as you go is that you're going to get better. You're going to get better because every time you get one wrong, you're going to the strategy notes tab, and your teacher will walk through this with you, but you'll be writing down the test number, the section number, the question number you got wrong. And then you'll be really examining, okay, what type of question is this, and what can I learn from practice? What can I do next time that I didn't do this time? It could be a formula you didn't remember from math. It could be a strategy that you forgot to use in grammar in the writing section. So here's some examples, but basically every time you get a problem wrong, the key is that you're going over it and you're writing down what you learned from it. This practice test link tab down here at the bottom will allow you to find all answers and answer explanations. So if you're going over test 8 and you don't know why you got a problem incorrect, then click on this document and find the answer explanation. Learn from what the College Board is telling you, okay? These are really valuable documents with every single question on these practice tests explained. Okay, so this is kind of your central database for all practice. And as you go, you're going to start to see that they're going to start to turn green. And this, again, is an individualized document such that your green might be at a different threshold than someone else's green, right? Because you're trying for a different score than they're trying. So this will be conditionally formatted for you and your individual goals. That's why you'll receive an individual one from me in the coming weeks, okay? If you need anything else, you're always reaching out. I'm going to be here, and I'll tell you this right now. Every single week, I'm going to check this document, and I shouldn't see any yellow. I should see all boxes filled in red or green if you've been keeping up with the homework. So that's the goal. I'll email you. I will check in. I'll say, hey, I see a lot of yellow there. What's going on? I will copy your parents. And this is not to be annoying, although I'm sure it is. It is really just to keep you accountable, because this is not something, as I mentioned at the beginning, you are ever going to be sitting around saying, how can I have a great time? Oh, I'm going to do SAT prep. Never going to happen. So you just get it done, right? You get your butt in that chair and you do it, and you do the work, you go over the work, and you get better, and you will see results. I promise you will see results if you do the work. That is just a very basic formula. All right, let me know if you have any questions. You have my cell and my email. I look forward to working with you more. Can't wait to see you guys.